One of the hardest hit states right now is Florida. Officials there are pleading with the public to get vaccinated. Governor Ron DeSantis addressed the recent spike in cases and stressed the importance of the vaccines, saying, quote, "These vaccines are saving lives. They are reducing mortality." Earlier this year, though, the Republican leader signed a law prohibiting Florida companies from mandating vaccines as a prerequisite for service. So in an op-ed published in the Miami Herald, former Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine criticizes DeSantis for putting Florida's cruise industry and his people in jeopardy. Philip Levine is here to discuss, and he is also the CEO of Royal Media Partners. Thank you so much for joining us. I read your op-ed, and one of the things that you said in it is that you write that Governor DeSantis is, quote, "putting his constituents in mortal danger for the sake of political expediency." It occurred to me when the governor was sort of signing this legislation that I was thinking to myself, I don't recall anyone really clamoring for this. I don't recall a groundswell. Where did this come from? Can you elaborate a little bit more on what you just said about political expediency?
Sure, absolutely. Well, as we know, and as the governor just said, which we're so happy to hear him say, that the vaccine actually does save lives. And I would think that cruise passenger lives are just as valuable as anybody's lives. As you know, the cruise industry is one of the most important industries in the entire state of Florida. Nationally, it's a $55 billion economic impact. It employs about 436,000 Americans, and millions of people cruise every year. What the governor has done is he passed a law in Florida which basically says the cruise industry cannot mandate vaccines from the passengers. Now, we obviously know there was a major issue last year with the Diamond Princess, and the industry has been shut down. And this has hurt a lot of people. As the industry begins now anew, the cruise industry needs to be able to say, if you want to cruise, you must be vaccinated. Governor DeSantis says no. What does it mean by political expediency? Obviously, he's playing to his base. His base does not believe, to a large extent, that they want to be told to mandate and have to have vaccines. But for the safety of the public, I would think the governor needs to change course on this issue. And now, of course, it's in the courts, as Norwegian Cruise Line's taken the bold move to sue the Surgeon General of Florida, saying this is impacting our business. You need to rule in their favor and allow us to mandate these vaccines.
So I want to get to that lawsuit, but first I want to go back to the situation with DeSantis, because the courts did step in there. They put a halt to this piece of legislation. But DeSantis says that Florida plans to appeal that July 17th court decision that gave the cruise industry back the right to mandate vaccines. Why do you think he's fighting so hard on this issue? And do you think the appeal will be successful?
Right. So these are two different lawsuits to understand. Basically, Governor DeSantis sued the CDC and said, your rules should not apply to the cruise industry. He was granted a temporary victory in the court. Then the CDC appealed. The CDC won the appeal, and those now rules are rules. The cruise industry must abide by those Center for Disease Control rules. Had nothing to do with the mandate of vaccines. That's a separate law that the governor pushed and passed in Florida. Norwegian Cruise Line has sued last week the state of Florida, which of course the Surgeon General, saying we must overturn that law. It's hurting our industry. So they're totally two separate lawsuits. What the governor plans to appeal is the CDC versus, or Florida versus the CDC. The Norwegian Cruise Line versus the state of Florida, the Surgeon General, has yet to be decided. But you have the governor saying that vaccine saves lives. Yet at the same time, he passes a law that says you can't mandate vaccines. So one would say, well, you just don't want to save lives that are on cruise ships? Is that what that's about? Very confusing, and we're going to have the court decide that.
So this Norwegian Cruise Line lawsuit suing Florida's Surgeon General. So Norwegian is being sort of very proactive. But what I thought to myself when I read the op-ed is, what if Norwegian loses? What is your concern that the implications could be not just for the cruise industry, but for other industries, for the rest of travel and tourism?
Well, the one thing about the cruise industry is we know they're incredibly advanced. They have all new technology. They've come together with phenomenal protocols to make cruising as safe as possible. mandating a vaccine adds that much level greater of safety for someone going on a cruise. And all the statistics and all the polling show that cruise passengers in the market want to know their fellow passengers are vaccinated. So if Norwegian Cruise Line were to lose, then the cruise industry would follow on in Florida other protocols, excluding mandating vaccines to make the ships and continue to make the ships as safe as possible. But remember something, this is only for the state of Florida. Around the country, leaving from other states, the industry is mandating vaccines. So this is something which is very Florida-centric. It's a little bit like, for some reason, Florida just is okay with risking the lives of cruise passengers. And then, of course, you're risking the livelihood in this incredible economic engine that really is a homegrown industry to Florida.
Yeah, and as we saw at the beginning of the pandemic, when it comes to these cruise ships, they travel all around the place. They have an international crew. An outbreak can easily spread, and I know the cruise industry has been doing everything they can to get up and running. We're all going to miss the buffets, but I know you got to do the right thing. Philip Levine, sure. Thanks. I really appreciate you talking to us this morning.
Thank you.